Hey everybody, welcome to my first video with Titanfall. This is just going to be a sort of classic video commentary. I'm really liking this game, not least of all because even though it's all multiplayer, they have some story elements, and I'm going to let you listen to the briefing so you know what's going on.
Crew, this is Bish. At 0800 today, General Anderson succumbed to wounds sustained in battle. We are out of jump range of every other fleet in the sector. In short, we are on our own, as we have always been. Every ship in this fleet is down to less than 2 hours of fuel. Our options are limited. Either we get the fuel we need, or we die out here. Sarah, tactical report.
All the viable fuel sources within range are heavily fortified and under IMC control. We've selected a remote target in the Yuma system, which gives us the most time to conduct the raid. Titan pilots, you will keep the anti-air defenses offline, while the fleet refuels overhead.
Let's make this count, people. We'll have the element of surprise, but not for long. Good luck. Signing off.
So yeah, even though it's a purely multiplayer game, 6v6, you get this really cool sort of mission briefing in the lobby beforehand, and then as soon as you actually load into the match, you get basically put into this little cutscene that shows you leaving your fleet in orbit around this planet or whatever, and jumping to where the battle is, and you have some little NPC characters who are there who are sort of telling you different things about the match, and it really gives it a real cinematic and sort of story-based feeling to the game, which is fantastic.
Either way, we need this fuel, or none of us are gonna make it. The fleet's counting on you. Go, go, go!
And then just like that, you're in the match. It's that seamless. That's absolutely mind-boggling to me. There's so many games now where you're in the lobby and then you cut to a loading screen and then all of a sudden you're in the game.
Okay, boss, this is a hardpoint operation.
And that's just not as fun as the way that Respawn has developed this game. Instead of that sort of black and white, not in the game, now you're in the game, you have this seamless transition where you're being given little sort of story snippets to get you involved and actually want to be in the match, which is something that I don't think any other game has really done before. Quadra kill with a grenade, blind grenade, so that's fun. So you can see that's the first enemy that I see, and I didn't see him at the time, but you can kind of catch a glimpse of a guy who is cloaked there running across the screen. I'm about to actually get into combat with my first enemy here in a second, and, well, it doesn't go very well, because I'm point-blank praying and spraying with my assault rifle. In case you haven't figured it out, the match that we're playing in right now, they call it hardpoint domination. On the map, there are 3 different points that you need to capture, and the story behind the match is that your fleet is obviously they're trying to refuel. You heard that in the briefing, and so you need to come in and shut down these AA guns. 1 and then 2. Sorry, a little bit distracted. You have to shut down these AA guns so that your ships can actually come in and refuel without getting blown out of the sky. So that's what you're doing. You're running around to Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie trying to get this. One really cool thing about the game is right there, you can see there's a big sense of verticality that isn't in a lot of other games, whereas Call of Duty and Battlefield, to a bit of a lesser extent, are very two-dimensional. Like, you have a big wide open space where you can run around and stuff, but there isn't a lot of verticality. It's very much you are running on the ground, or you get to climb up a ladder and then you're running around the ground again. In Titanfall, you have a jump pack, you have double jumps, and all sorts of cool stuff, and you can just go wherever you want, basically. Oh, yeah. So I ended up getting a double kill there, 1 from my blind grenade, and then 1 from that guy, and then I call in my Titan for the first time, and there he is. Very cool. The Titans are a big part of the game, obviously, from the name, but they play almost identically as when you're on foot, which is pretty cool. They have some extra abilities. They can take a bit more of a beating, obviously, but there's a lot of really cool stuff that goes on with the game in the Titan. I'm being rodeoed right now, so if you don't understand what that is, being rodeoed is when you have somebody on the back of your Titan, an enemy can get up on the back of your Titan, they can rip open a hatch, and they can start shooting into the, I don't know, the brain of your Titan, basically, to try and deactivate it. My Titan just blew up, and now I'm trying to figure out where the guy went, so I can get some retribution. We see each other, we're both cloaked, but I get the jump on him. And so I think that takes me up to 4-2 so far in the match, which, you know, isn't too bad. I was lucky enough to be able to actually play in the beta weekend for Titanfall, so I was able to familiarize myself with this map as well as a couple of the other ones, and so I know some pathing around the maps that maybe some of the people who weren't lucky enough to get into the beta might not know of. But really, the core of Titanfall is just being able to use that verticality and be able to jump, and you can run on the walls, and you can jump on the backs of friendly Titans, and they can carry you around like you saw a couple seconds ago. Or you can jump on the back of enemy Titans, and you can try and blow them up. There's all sorts of fun stuff that you can do. And the leveling up system is pretty cool. So I saw there was a guy running around the corner, see him, and now I'm 5-2. Not bad. And then I'm 5-3. Because being on foot, it does not equal being able to take out a Titan. The cool thing with the loadouts for Titanfall, you get a primary weapon, you get a secondary weapon, and usually that's like an assault rifle and then a pistol, respectively, something like that. But you also get a tertiary weapon, which is an anti-Titan weapon specifically, and that's with the class that I have right now. It's a auto-locking rocket launcher, which is pretty cool. And then one of the alternatives is something called a Sidewinder, which is basically a machine gun that shoots micro missiles. It doesn't auto-target. You have to lead the target and stuff, but it's pretty cool. Being in the Titan, as you just saw, you get a nice sort of a secondary weapon that does a lot of damage, and you get in the default mechs, the default Titans rather, when you are just starting out, I think until you get to level 5, you get something called the Vortex Shield as your special ability, and the Vortex Shield allows you to absorb bullets and rockets and stuff from different enemies, and then fire them back at them after after the time runs out or you deactivate the shield. It's pretty cool ability. Like, you wouldn't normally think of stuff like that, but it's pretty cool, and it helps a lot when you're in a big fight. Yeah. This game, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it quite a lot. Ooh, there's yeah, and then the rocket comes back, and then you can shoot it back if you want. You might have noticed that there's a bunch of little guys running around on the ground, instead of just there only being players, because even though it's a purely multiplayer game, Respawn decided that they wanted to go with a 6v6 limit on how many people could be in the match. But in order to make the battlefield actually feel alive, they included a bunch of uncontrollable, like, NPCs that just run around. There are two different kinds. There are grunts, and there are things they call specters. And the grunts are just your basic grunts, as you know, as you would imagine. They're just little soldiers who run around, and the specters are actually robotic soldiers who are a bit tougher. They have anti-Titan weapons, and they can do a bit more damage. For the rest of the match, really, I try and alternate between Bravo and Charlie, trying to make sure that our team holds those 2 points down. We're already up a considerable margin, nearly 100, and though, you know, by the end of the match, the margin actually closes quite a deal. I tried to spend most of my time going back and forth between Bravo and Charlie just to ensure that we could keep that going. I got really lucky here. As you can see on the health meter for the Titan at the top of the screen, I very, very nearly died, but I managed to keep it up a little bit longer and attack this Titan, weaken him enough that some of my allies could actually knock him down, even though I got ejected from my Titan. Here I just jump on the back of my Titan. The cool thing the cool thing with being on the back of a friendly Titan is even though enemies can jump on the back of Titans and they can rip it open and try and kill it. If there is a friendly on the back of your Titan, that spot has been taken basically. So enemy pilots or the enemy players can't jump on the back of your Titan if you have a friendly pilot on your back. So I'm giving this guy a little bit of help, making sure that we could capture that point without any adversity, and then ride him around for a little bit. Here I decided that I'm going to go over to Alpha. I know I said earlier that I tried to alternate between Bravo and Charlie, but Alpha had been controlled by the IMC for most of the match, so I decided that I would go over and try and help out. Double jump into the building, super cool. I spend a lot of time just chucking grenades at these specters and not really doing much damage, unfortunately. I didn't actually realize at first that they were just specters and not just guys, or not pilots, rather, not actual players. But the cool thing is, even though there are these little grunts and specters who run around, they actually do give you points that count towards you upgrading your abilities and actually leveling up in the game, which is pretty cool. Normally, when NPCs are running around in other shooters, you don't really get much of a... Oh, kill the specter, don't see the pilot standing behind the boxes. But yeah, normally when there are little NPCs like that running around in the game, you don't get much of a bonus for killing them. But Respawn's done a really good job with actually making everything in the game really matter. So yeah, as you see, we just hit 400 points, so we've won. The really cool thing about Titanfall is because it is such a sort of story-oriented shooter, even though it's all multiplayer. After it's determined who wins and who loses, you enter something called the epilogue. The epilogue's sort of like last man standing, except that one team is in complete retreat, whereas the other is trying to mop up, basically. And so the team that loses needs to go to an extraction point. You're given a point that you need to reach to actually survive and escape. In doing so, you get a little bit of a bonus. If you get killed, however, you only have the one life, you don't respawn, and you have to wait until the match is completely over to get to go into the lobby. Also really cool is you can actually shoot down the extraction ship if you can do enough damage to it. We don't actually manage to just here, but it's a little bit insult to injury if you can actually make it happen. That was pretty much my first match in Titanfall. The score screen is going to pop up here in a second, and I actually did pretty well. I did the top of my team, which I was not expecting. I did a lot of capturing points, and I think I had a pretty good run as far as my kill-death ratio goes. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Unlocked a couple of starting classes. I'm only up to level 3. You unlock the ability to actually customize classes at level 5. So I'm excited to get into that. I'm also excited at the fact that when I hit level 2, I unlocked the CQB pilot class, which is the guy who runs around with a shotgun. Shotgun's definitely my speed. So thanks for watching. Next episode we'll be taking another look at Titanfall, and I'll make sure that I get the new briefing and stuff in there for the next mission. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.